hello those people at home. So Joe and Jay, this is for you, but also guys, this is for you as well if you want to have to do any revision on it. This is like an absolute crash course. I'm really focusing on all the bits you need to ace this exam. You'll have another short little recording along with this, and that is the key lines, and we've just been practicing that. So you need to make sure you know all the key lines. And while we're talking about doing the key lines, we were talking about key skills used as well. Okay, so this is the live productions. So we've gone through already. We've acted out the key characters and we've acted out the key lines, so we've done all of that. I've put your additional studies straight away now on the board. Don't worry about writing this down, it's already on Teams. You'll get a notification at the end of this lesson. I'm not going to go through all of them. They're all pretty straightforward. A lot of them are about creating essay plans. If you have a look, all of you, at the very back page of your revision guides, so the very back 2 pages, this is an example that I've done for you on a physical skills essay plan, and you need to read it, and you can copy out your own physical skills ones, and I want you to do it in the same kind of detail. So have a look at, if you've not got your book, oh, you've got it, okay. So Andres, get to the page where this is on please, because I want you to look at it. So I'll have this open. Have a look at the detail. I've obviously not written down anything for section 1 because you guys know your introduction, you know that word for word. So what I've done is for each scene, you can see in detail, I've said what the scene is about, so I've remembered to do my synopsis, or else it would be really cute. So right on the very back page, right at the very end. I've then said what quote I'm getting, my first quote, this is if I was doing an essay on physical skills. I've then put in bullet point just to how they did their gestures and I've put why the gestures was good. Look how I've in bold are all my praise words and underlined are all my key skill words. So for her gestures, I've put fantastic timing, brilliant control. And then I've just described how I'd act it, how she did act it, and then again, more evaluation. I've done my second quote, then with my evaluation. And then at the end, I've written down what TDE. So the fact that physical skills created a character the target teenage audience could instantly relate to, and so made it more engaging. So I've written down all my key points now, and I've done the same for my other 2 scenes as well. This is how you do an essay plan. So when I come to check your additional study, I want your essay plans to look like this. You have got this sent to you as an actual script. What I'll do is I'll send you all an email again with this updated document on, this PowerPoint on as well, and the video, so that you can have it all as hand to revise. That is what your essay plans need to look like. So I've given you a couple of essay plans. Feel free though, if you want to actually do timed essay. Does anyone know what the #1 way to revise is in any of your subjects? Practice. Yeah, do an actual practice, and that has been actually proven. They said the least effective way of revising is just to read through notes or copy notes. The most effective way is to actually just do practice essays. So do send them to me. Can't guarantee I'll mark them over the actual Christmas period, but as soon as it gets to the end of December, I will be getting on with work again, so I will mark some of them. So that's it, it's all on there. It's nothing particularly, Jane, and it's all just to do with live productions. One thing that I do need to give you today, has any of you, this is your last drama lesson of the week?
Yeah.
Okay, Miss, could I ask you a massive favour? Could you see if any more of these LCG scripts have been printed off? Is that right? Okay. These aren't for you to do anything with, and this is going to sound really depressing when I tell you. I think they should be at the print of this. Yeah. It's going to sound really depressing, but this time last year, we didn't know that we were about to go into lockdown in January. And it's exactly the same time this time last year that a new variant was discovered. And if you remember, we went into lockdown at the beginning of January. So we've been asked to prepare you for materials in case lockdown happens. So this is the best time for you guys. If lockdown was ever to happen, you'll actually be fine because you've done all your practical work. And we actually taught these at home last year. So I'm only giving you these in case. I'm not saying, obviously, no one knows what's going to happen. Hopefully we'll back here in January, we'll see you all in your lovely faces. But if not, you have got these scripts to take home with you. So please do not leave them, keep them safe, because when I don't need to do anything with them over there. I mean, if you want to, please feel free to read them, you're welcome to. Just don't lose them, it's free to have them now so you're not using electric copies. Could you just now write your names on them? So I'm going to give you 2 scripts, and Mrs. gone to get more of the LCGs. Our Country's Good you'll be doing with Miss Bratbit, and Antigone you'll be doing with me. So if you write your name on top of both scripts.
What is your eyes? Get some
I'm
eye
going to
drops.
teach
I've got some eye
you
drops.
online from home. Yeah, you can be home on a Thursday morning.
So jarring. That was the last one.
Why? What do you have to come in for then?
Thank you. Even
You can do it in college though if you want to. Oh, alright. Okay. I taught Antigone last year from home and it worked really well, do you know, and I've got all the resources, so I'm not concerned by that at all. Antigone, Antigone's amazing, I love it. We're gonna modernise it, but I'm not gonna tell you what it's about. I want to keep it a surprise, but it is really good. Like I say, I did this at my A level and I've taught it every year as a teacher, and I still really enjoy teaching it. It's like, it's a play. There's bits at the beginning where it's a play. Yeah, the characters, so it's the script.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean, the quality of reading it?
Yeah.
What kind of name
It's
is men?
because the chorus is so long.
Is
Right,
men?
what guys? No, if you want to read Antigone, feel free. But what I would suggest you do is just ignore the chorus sections, because unless I explain the chorus sections, you're just going to read it and be like, what the hell is this about? I don't get it. So it's not essential to the party, the story. And the chorus in Antigone is basically there just to emphasise what has happened in the scene and basically give a moral standing on it. So it's basically like a bit of philosophy from the chorus. So you can completely understand the play without reading any of the chorus bits. Only if you want to, though. You don't have to. Missy's hopefully just going to go and get the rest of the Country's Good scripts. Please keep them safe. Like I say, write your name on the front. So that is your work for the holidays. So, why? How come? Because all the other ones printed that way. Would you mind running some more off? Is that alright? If I give you the sorry guys, let me just get the half copy from there. It just needs to be one sided and two sided.
Pardon?
What?
Miss, if we flew into the toilet, I'll be like, thank you. Have a look at the channel.
You're welcome, Jane.
That's really weird that happened.
Where are Joey and Joe?
Joe's not being Joe.
Jay's coming in, she's
Was
just
Joey
gone for a
yesterday?
job.
Okay. What Joseph?
I'll tell you what,
Is he
Miss, I'll just set them off.
Is it coming Tuesday evening?
Right, guys.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been lost 2 days.
Guys, can you do me a favour, please?
No,
Can
they
you
come in
go to your revision workbook?
No, it's
And
failed.
I want you to, you've got 3 minutes exactly to look at the structure, and I'm going to ask you to copy it out timed with no notes. So you need to go and have a look at the essay plan, the structure, which is on page 4.
Tuesday I was sick, which was nice, in the shower.
I came in though yesterday. I had to go home.
I was at an open day yesterday.
Yesterday, I'm not.
And then I went shopping in the Trafford Centre.
I don't do these things.
Why am I sat right next to where it's recording? What's the structure, Kiki? Synopsis. Clear synopsis style. Synopsis quote. Justice, creative actions quote. Creative actions TDA.
I'm making it bit, but I'm doing something wrong.
My answer is no, but my sister has once missed like 6 in a row.
Missed what?
Periods.
Oh yeah.
Periods?
Yeah, I've never actually missed one.
No, it's normal.
It's
No, I
normal
went into
for you to-
lockdown, man. The first time, I didn't come for like 6 months, and I went to the doctor and
It
everything.
happens.
And then they were like,
Really?
she's
I'd have been panicking.
they were like, oh, she's literally fine. And I was like, well,
Oh,
I don't feel fine, but fine. Why would I enjoy it?
That's weird. Jay is having a job. Joe.
So we
feels
got one.
awful today.
So it like I don't know.
Your
but
what
if it
is?
comes this
She
month,
feels awful today, Mama.
for the
She's
next
just
3 or
confused
4
and she
months,
said
it
she,
doesn't.
like, is the
And
one
then it
she's
comes
on.
once, and then
And
it
Joe.
comes again.
Didn't come in Tuesday. We're too
Joe's
ill.
No,
not
no,
right.
no,
Apparently he's
no.
not been in past
I just got a
yesterday.
message
So.
to Miss Anne. Why am I getting told I'm missing
No
December
pain as
somehow?
well. So.
See, no one tipped me off last week.
Right, guys, you should not be sat there not doing anything. You know, you have got, what, an hour left of this revision session, and that is it, and then you're on your own and you've got your mock exam. You should be wanting to absolutely do everything you can to get a good mark in this. Where's your essay structure? It's not even open. Open your essay structure on page 5.
I've already looked at it.
Have you looked at it as me as well? Are you
I've just gone to
confident?
the toilet.
Right, okay, open up your line piece of paper then and close your book in front of you, please. Okay, line piece of paper, can you put at the top, please? Essay structure. Okay, make sure you close your revision book. And I'm going to time you. Right, you've got 3 minutes, and in that time I want you to copy out just the main points. You don't need to do the actual detail of each of the sections, but I want you to write down like the main points in each of the sections that you're going to do. Okay, make sure you close your notes. You don't have your notes in front of you. So it's mainly the titles, obviously, of each section and subsection that you're going to be writing down. Okay, go. Can you make sure you're doing this at home too? I'll just give you another minute. Obviously the important part is knowing what to write in each of the quotes, each of the scenes. Okay, so Andreas, what's the first thing you write about when you start off the play?
The introduction.
Okay, and what sort of things do you write about in the introduction?
Play,
Yeah,
the synopsis.
Yeah.
And then start.
excellent. So you should be able to memorise that because there's actually examples in the structure for you. When you start a new scene, Elif, what's the first thing you're going to talk about when you start a new scene?
The quote.
Before you even give the quote, what would you do? Kiki?
Chosen character.
Oh, sorry. That's even before you choose your first scene. Yeah, I missed that out, sorry. You do, just mention who it is that you're going to actually writing about. I'll come in that second. So say that you're going to chosen character is Jen. Obviously it's an ensemble question. You'll be writing about all 3 of them. And then, yeah, you had it right, Ellis. When you start off a scene, you always start by doing what? The scene synopsis. It's only brief, 1 sentence. It's got to be. So make sure you've got scene synopsis down in your structure. After you've done the synopsis, Zach, what do you do next?
You give your first quote.
Yeah, you give a quote. Sometimes, what might you have to do about that quote, Miriam? Can you think about what you might have to do? Before you even say that, to make it make sense to an examiner. Go on, Zach.
You have to actually say what's happening.
Yeah, it would be worth to say what happens in that quote. Like if you did the bar quote and you didn't say what it was about, you're like, on this line, Jen suddenly turns into a sheep because she's called over by the Cyclops. And you need to say that she suddenly swaps from being a warrior into being a sheep. Some of the lines just need a little bit of explanation, or the examiner's going to be like, what is going on in this line? Particularly the bit with the, we don't want to go. If you haven't explained that the warriors have now become high and they're acting childish, the examiner's going to be like, but they were all arrogant and proud at the beginning. Why are they like this now? So you've briefly explained it. Then what do you have to do next, Beth?
Justice.
Yeah, unless you've already talked about that character's justice before. You know, if you've already you're doing the look the Cyclops cave and you did the Lotus Flower in the scene before, you can just say they'll be in the same justice as I've previously described. One thing that students always forget to do when they've written the justice, what do you think it is? After you've written the justice, you should do what with it?
Evaluate it.
Yeah.
I was going to say creative actions.
Before even you do that, what do you do with your justice? It's an evaluation question, so evaluate your justice, yeah? Say, this justice is brilliant because it's so recognisable to the audience and she's so controlled and exaggerated with her actions. So do an evaluation for the justice as well. Then you go into creative actions. You've written out lovely actions that the examiner can understand. Can you just write, maybe on your notes, the 3 things that students forget to do the most when they're writing the actions? Where they're stood on stage, so can you put that down, is positioning. Can anyone think what the other 2 might be? Go on, Mia.
Like voice and accent.
Voice especially. Tone of voice and the accents, and there's one other you guys always forget. Yeah.
Is it how close they are to the other performers?
Oh, like proximity. Not necessarily. That could help. I mean, I don't think students do that enough, but it's definitely yes. All they ever write is in actions is tone of voice, facial expressions. It's those 2 things that really help show what the character is. Obviously, if it's a physical skills question, the tone of voice, you might as well still write about what the tone of voice is, just for ease for the examiner. You just won't talk about it in the evaluation. So then you've done the evaluation. So after the actions, you evaluate. How many praising keywords should you use, Ellis?
I don't know. Like,
How many? Yeah.
2 each.
2. Yeah. So you'd say something like stunning balance, phenomenal control, physical control while she's doing it. So you do 2 of each, and it just adds that amount of detail. And then all you do is you repeat for a second quote. So that's it. So that's time 2 for 2 quotes in each scene. Sophia, what do you do at the end of each scene? TDA. Okay, yeah, so you TDA. And your TDA must link to the question. If you've written a brilliant TDA and it doesn't link to the question, you won't get any marks for it, unfortunately. Right, that is the structure. What you're going to do next is, just to see how good you are and whether you need to revise it, you are going to do
Bless you.
Right, you're going to do a timed introduction. And then I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I don't think you need quite that long. Your introduction, I want you to revise it. If you have a look at your essay structure, guys. Alice, listen, if you have a look at your essay structure, your introduction, I've actually written it out in full for you. It's the bits that are in italic for A, B and C. Can you just have a look over that? I'm going to give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes to revise it, and then you're going to do it without your notes timed. You're going to see how fast you can do it and how accurately you can do it. So if you have a look, so it's all those bits, and those 3 bits in italics. See, just double check then that you know it word for word. You've not missed anything out.
What do you want me to write the poem regards to what?
You pick one. Let's see. You pick what you hope will come up on the exam. In the exam. I mean, I've already done the paper, so I can't change it.
Could be
now.
our physical skill.
I've already
Bit of my
changed it.
life.
So. Which one? Style. Style's only 5. Right. Okay. Right. I'll give you 1 more minute. Or do you think you know it?
Oh no, I'm just going through it in my head.
Oh
now.
right. Okay. That's how you revise it. That's fine.
I'm just debating which skill
Alice,
to
you think you know it
use.
all? Are you sure? You know it word for word?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is fine. Right, close your notes. Those people at home, Joe and Jay, make sure you're doing this as well. So can you write your title? Introduction. Make sure your notes are short. And what I want you to do is I am going to... Oh, I don't. Miss, do you have a phone or an eye? Does anyone have a phone on them I can use their stopwatch for? Can you put a... Can I just borrow your stopwatch? Because I can't use my iPad because I'm recording. Thank you. Right, what I'd like you to do is shout out when you have finished and write the time at the top. Then go and mark it compared to the original and see how accurate. If anyone stops at the same time, you can mark each other's. Whilst you're marking each other's, can you also mark for spag as well? So you're looking for anything like all capital letters, things like that. Are you ready? On your marks, get set, go. Okay, shout out when you've done. 4:15. You need to be aiming to get this down below 4 minutes.
Finished.
Okay, 4:27.
Finish.
4:30. 4:40. Okay, if you can swap with someone and then get them to mark it for you quickly, please. 4:46.
Got my hand in it, like, dead. I can feel like. I don't know. I don't
Okay, swap it with someone who's also finished, please, and can you mark them? And I want you to mark it as it says on the board on the spag and the accuracy, and I want you to give it a mark out of 10, please. Okay, you really need to be heading towards the end by now. Okay, Ellis, have you finished?
Yeah.
Okay, that was 5:20. Write that down.
I'm saying.
5:22. Okay, and just swap it over with someone and mark it for accuracy. It's 5:34. Is that? Actually finished. Okay, you mark it. So you need to be reading it. You need to be checking the spelling and grammar, and at the bottom of it, can you please give them a mark out of 10, including the accuracy and spelling and grammar.
Yeah. I did cement.
I've probably done that.
These are stereotypes.
Look at the time as well in terms of marking. You guys have got to get this just down to 4 minutes. The quickest a student did it in my year 12 class was, what was it, 3 minutes 24?
Whose is this?
Well,
It's like that's under 5 minutes.
and they did it on. They
No,
did
the
it
rest of it's at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I'm getting you to do it.
But you know what? You didn't lose any, so I'm still going to be here.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I'm just giving you a minute and I want a mark out of 10 for it, please. And I want them to look at spelling and grammar.
Hell yeah. Get it.
Okay, so as I said, the number one way to revise is by doing it, and this is what you've just done there. Absolutely nothing in terms of. So, is that yours, Olivia, or is that? That's mine. Okay, nothing in terms of spelling and grammar either.
No.
What was your time?
Like 4:45.
Okay, you need to get it down to 4 minutes.
Because I added like an extra sentence.
She was writing fast
Yeah, I
then,
thought
and
I
at
was.
4:30.
It doesn't have to be word for word. Like
No, it does. It doesn't have to be word for word, but you've got to cover
Yeah.
obviously the main
As long
points.
as it
of
not
it.
do word for word.
No.
Don't have- But it's easier to learn something word for word and then just write it out as like a script, and you'll get through it quicker if you do, rather than you sort of having to think about it. Okay, Sophia, whose were you marking? How did they do? Okay, okay. Right, get your script back if you can. If you can finish giving it a mark. Look for her accuracy. Andreas, how accurate were you?
I was accurate, but I forgot the last sentence.
Okay, and it's timing as well. You've got to get this
I
down.
do have extra time.
Yeah, that does help. Okay, you guys are gonna have a shock in this exam because we had to do it to the letter to the exam board, and we've been really nice to you. Oh yeah, we've been really nice to you. And in past exams, you know, we've been saying, you know, you'll train you up to the full time, so you've had an hour. You only have 55 minutes in the exam. That is how long the exam board gives you for this essay. So you're going to have 55 minutes, so you've got to get used to writing it in that time length, okay? That's why you've got to get this down to 4 minutes. Yeah.
You know the music exam, did we get that extra 5 minutes in the end?
What do you mean?
Oh yeah.
Because it's an hour and 5, the exam, but I think it said
It's
an
only
hour.
down for an hour in the
I'll
morning.
double check. I'll check that one for you. Okay, so that is your time for introduction. So some of you know that you need to be looking over and improving that. You can't be wasting time on that, and you can't lose really easy marks in it. So you may have to do this again at home. Oh, engagement's easily. It's just scenes that are entertaining. That's it. So visually interesting. There's loads. Yeah.
How many marks can you get for your Introduction.
It kind of all mixes together. If you think about it, if you don't do your introduction, the examiner's going to have pretty much no idea what's going on in the rest of the play. So you will be really confused, it'll be hard to follow, so you'll lose marks in AO4. AO3 is obviously predominantly a lot of your AO3 marks, and that's out of 5. So if you don't do your introduction, you lose pretty much all your AO3 marks there as well. So, potential skills. What I would like you to do for this is just close your revision book, make sure it's not open. Underneath where you've just written, can you write potential skills questions? Just potential skills is fine. And I want you to do a list, while looking, of all the questions. You've got 2 minutes, that's it. And you're going to write down all the questions you think that you could be asked for this exam. Whoa, don't cheat.
Where are we writing it?
Just underneath where you've done your timed introduction. Sorry, I wasn't writing it. Do I'm cheating. Right, all the potential questions. So obviously, you know one that you've just done in your exam was non-naturalism.
Am I writing them now?
Yeah, write them down, go. So let's see who can get the most in 2 minutes. Go.
Yes.
Yeah, go. It's on the board. You have 2 minutes to write all down. So non-naturalism is obviously one. What are the others? You need to know these because you need to be prepared in the exam. Obviously, it's not exhaustive. But what's that?
Is that just one? Or is that
Yeah, that's just one. They'll do that one together, and then you can just focus on one. Okay, 20 seconds. See if you can think of any other ones. There's about 13 in total.
13.
You can write down the ones that you could never, you
Seven.
couldn't answer as well. That might be a hint for you.
The one that you can't.
That you can't use our play to answer. Because remember, you always have a choice, don't you?
Oh, so you can say those as well?
Yeah, they're potential questions. You just won't be able to answer them with this play. Okay, count up how many you've got.
7.
Anyone got
8.
10? 9? Have you got 9?
I got 10.
Oh, excellent. You got 11? Just squeeze one in there then. I like it. Right, let's go round and see what you've got. So Sophia, there's one, go. Comedy. Ellis.
Mood and atmosphere.
Yes. As Zach said, that would be the same question. I would just choose to write about mood. Just don't mention, atmosphere, sorry. Just don't really mention mood. You don't need to. It's just more words to write. Miriam. Motion. Yeah, that would be very hard. That was a hard one for, I'll try and go for the other question if there's another one. Nikita.
The ability to create a story.
Yeah. Andreas.
Physical skills.
Yeah. Beth.
Engagement.
Yeah. Kiki.
I don't have any more.
What was the one that you did in class like 3 weeks ago? That you've done
Is it ensemble?
none. Well, ensemble is one, but yeah. Olivia.
Non-naturalistic.
Yes. Mia.
Oh, we won't choose it, but naturalistic.
Yeah, you wouldn't write about it, but yeah, you can have naturalism. Zach, have you got any more?
I'll put this as one even though I know it in sympathy.
Yeah, that's been a question on the exam before. Obviously, you can't really write. I wouldn't write about it. We can't really do that in our play. Don't forget, when you open up your essay paper, you will have 4 questions. Don't be put off by that. Immediately ignore the first 2, because what are the first 2 questions, Ellis? Do you remember?
What?
You have to. So when you open up the exam paper, there'll be 4 questions. Why do you ignore the first 2? What are they always? Design questions, like set design, costume design. And you aren't designers, you're all performers, so you ignore that one. The second 2, you might find that you're only able to answer 1, because 1 might be on a question you could never do, like realism or sympathy. The paper that's just gone, there was one they've had in the past, romantic relationships, on believable development of relationships. You couldn't do that. If you're doing a play like Blood Brothers, sure, that would be great, but you can't do for this play. So you do the one you can do. There will be 1 question you can do, don't worry. Okay, if you just have a quick look on page 5 of your workbooks. Come on, quickly. That's page 5. They're the list that I've got. This is not exhaustive, guys. They may come up with something that I've never even thought about. It's not like the AQA have given us a list of teachers saying, here, teachers, we could ask you on any of these questions. We just don't know. Yeah.
I wrote down tension, but I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, tension I probably wouldn't do if you could do the other question, but you could do tension. The scenes I would do for tension are, I would do the Lotus Flower scene would be, actually no, sorry, I would do the Cyclops one for the tension because you know the warriors are about to stab him, so I'd probably do something like, look, a Cyclops cave, or I'd do, we got the one, I'm monster drunk, or you can even do the, we thrust a stick into his eye. I would do definitely Cersei scene because it's sexual tension. You know, it's all this like, this sexual tension. It's seductress. And the other scene, you could do the Lotus Flower scene because you could do it's tension with the warriors, like, greeting strangers. You know they've attacked.
Could you say it's Penelope because she's got the tension of why?
Oh yeah,
knowing
the
what's
sad,
gonna happen.
yeah, the emotional tension. She's
Yeah.
really tense because she doesn't know what happened. Particularly if you do the line speaking false information of real gold, it shows that she's tense. She's really worked up. When she's crying, I do, I undo, I redo, and the tear coming, that's tension because she's getting herself worked up because husband's about to attack. Yeah, there you go. It is not a great question. I wouldn't do it if you had the choice, but it is possible. Can you guys just at the bottom of the page? Can you write November 21? Because this year they actually did an extra AQA paper because for anyone who didn't like the teacher assessment grade, can you write it down? And this was the one that came out a few weeks ago that I was quite upset about. The question that they got was comedy. So I'm afraid to say you probably won't have, the chances are extremely low that you would get comedy in the summer. And the other question that they had was how two characters developed created a development in the relationship throughout the play. That's rubbish. I mean, it's fine. Like I say, if you did Blood Brothers and you did Mickey and Eddie, for example, you'd do a scene as a kid, a scene as a teenager, and then as an adult. That would be a great question for that play. But we just couldn't do it. So obviously, though, we had comedy, which was a dream. Okay, so that is potential questions. So you know really which ones you need to revise for the summer one. If you think about your mock exam, you've already done non-naturalism this year. Comedy was just on the exam a few weeks ago. I'd be daft to give you that one. And you did creating character in your mock, so you know you can use
Physical
your...
skills. Non-naturalistic science.
Yeah, you can decide which one you want to rise at. So, so I say, you could be asked for any questions. So the aims of the Odyssey, what I'd like to do, please, in your books, can you just write down aims for me? In your line paper, aims as quick as you can. Can you put those away, please, Ellis? Or I will confiscate them and eat them myself. I am hungry. Aims of the Odyssey. Okay, you have got, again, 1 minute. And there are 4 aims for the Odyssey, and I want you to write them down. Zach, don't cheat. Cover my screen up. I know, I don't think he was like, what's this in reference to? Not the, I was going to say not the bright spot, but that'd be mean, you are. Not the most observant. Like my husband.
I'm so confused.
I know. That's what makes it funny. Yeah, I'm sorry with that.
I've got to.
Charlie.
Right, aims. Can you think of any aims for the play? What are the director's aims for this play? And this is what you can link your evaluations to. Remember, if you want those A-star grades. Okay, see if you're feeling 4 aims. Anyone got 3? 2. Okay. Mia, can you give me one of your aims, please?
Convey the message that anyone can be legendary.
Excellent. Ellis, what's another? Can you put your phone away, please, or I'll take that off the tube. Come on, I should have to tell you
I was
this.
just putting it on silent for you.
Okay. For me. How kind of you. We're going to be on silent for an hour and 15 minutes. Thanks. Ellis, what's another aim of the play?
Use Brechtian techniques.
Create the version.
Yeah, I'd say create the verb. Can you just change it to create the verb from Dunn's effect rather than using Brechtian techniques? The other ones are, so I've got that, to engage a teenage audience. What's the last one? Yeah.
Oh no, I was going to say, can you use the TTs as your aims? Or is that not?
No, that's not. That's
To
that's in a
entertain.
creation of it
I
rather
don't
than a
know
name.
if it's Mitchell.
To entertain. Well done. So they are your 4.
I can read.
Tina. So those are the 4 aims. So remember, if you want your A grade evaluations, what you do is hi.
Just getting my marks out.
Sorry.
That's all right. So what you do, if you want your A grade answer for evaluation, you would say they have, engaging, exaggerated facial expressions which really achieve the director's aims of engaging the teenage audience. Or, they had a fantastic, clear change in character which was really creative, which also think about the mime in Odysseus dragging him off. So they had absolutely stunning mime, which showed Odysseus' strength at dragging him off, which achieved the aim that to show that anyone can be legendary. So these, if you want that A-star evaluation, be adding the aims to your ends, which achieve the director's aims of. If you look at Sam's example essay, I'll do what he did do that will really help you, and it's really kind of him. Do you know how some of you were saying you found his essay quite hard to read on non-naturalism? He's typed it up, so I will email it all out to you. That guy, he's good. So you've got a full mark comedy one in your script, you've got an essay plan for physical skills, and you've got Sam's A-star essays on non-naturalism and creating character. Okay, so TDE, can you write down your title of TDE, please? This is what students tend to struggle with. Not that they don't know the TDEs, but that they don't relate it to the question. And actually, some students make up TDEs. What I would like to do in one sentence, please, is write TDE, and I want you to describe, if you were telling somebody who didn't do drama what total dramatic effect is, can you write it down and describe it in one sentence, please? Go. Just write down one sentence, and I'm going to ask you to read out your sentences. So what is total dramatic effect? Jay and Joe, can you make sure you're doing this at home as well, please?
Are they live on there?
No, I'm recording it for them, obviously.
Why don't you just do a team call?
Because then I can upload this video onto YouTube and send it to you all as a link so you all have it for revision purposes for the foreseeable future.
Hi futures. Everyone say hi futures.
Hi, future
Hi,
me.
futures.
Hi, future everyone.
Aww. Joe, you got a really good mark in your exam. Don't know it yet, but...
Well
Round
done,
of applause for
Joe.
Joe.
He's never gonna watch.
So true.
He is, because I'm going to make sure he is. I'm going to be ringing up his mum tonight going, he'd missed his revision
Are
session.
you
He
like,
must have watched
at
it.
this minute and this point, what was said by someone?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what we do. I did this, I used to do this as a nice little trick. Can we all give him a password, please? And we have to
The
start.
password is, what was the name of his podcast?
Yeah, you know what is.
Two something podcast. Two what?
Are we supposed to be telling it?
Yeah,
that's the password to make
Bean
sure that he's
rounders.
watched it.
Bean
No, wait.
Rounders is your password.
Okay, there you go,
That's
Joe.
a
So when I ask you if
YouTube
you've watched the video,
Password as well.
we should have the same password, can't we?
Alright, so
Bean
Well, there you
Rounders
go.
equals the password.
Being Rounders is the password. I'm going to ask you the password to make sure you've watched this video. That does
That's
not
the name
mean
of
you can
this
switch off now.
We have
We'll give you another password. We'll give you another password at the end of the video.
This is checkpoint one.
But not right at the end because they'll just skip to
Because
the
I'll
end.
just find out.
Oh, love it, guys. Love it. Yeah, we'll do it near the end.
We'll give you a password at some point in this video.
We are sneaky, aren't we? I love it.
Just stay on the
Teamwork.
edge of your seat.
Listen then. Right, okay, so TDE. Miriam, can you read out for us how you would describe TDE to someone else?
The overall audience impact.
Of that scene. Yes, absolutely. So, if that scene wasn't in the play, like how would that affect the play? But it's like mainly that scene being in the play, what effect does it have? Why is that so important, that scene is in the play? So particularly, if you think of Circe and Penelope, what is the real importance of their scenes within the whole play? Go on.
The contrast to the rest of the play.
Yes, that has got to be your TDE for Circe and Penelope. It is the contrast. There's not many like quiet scenes in that play. If a play was like, oh my god, really loud like this all the way through it, it'd be too much. So they have these contrasting scenes just to make sure that it's got variety and it engages the teenage audience. So for Penelope and Circe, that is the importance of that scene. So this is how I wrote it. If you want to rewrite it, if you think yours was a bit pants and you didn't quite do it right, can you write down? So the TDE is how a particular scene affects the play as a whole, how it helps to achieve the overall aims. So having the contrast in Circe and Penelope achieves the aims because it provides contrast which keeps the teenage audience engaged. They get bored easily. Actually, probably not. To be fair, I get bored easily and I'm 36, so I've got a very short attention span. Okay, so you write it at the end of your scene, not at every quote. Some of you still write it at the end of every quote. Thank you, miss. I'll give them out at the end. Just remind me. You need to explain how it is successful. So can you write this starting sentence down for me? Can you all write down the total dramatic effect? You can just write TDE for now. Do not write TDE in your exam. If you really have to, write total dramatic effect and then brackets TDE, and then you can do it for the rest of the scene at play. For the essay, I don't mind that. So if you write down the TDE is successful in this scene because, and that's the start of your TDE paragraph. And hello, Jay. Jay, I have recorded this video for you. Within this video, there is a secret password. When I see you in January, you can tell me what the password is, so that I know that you've read the video.
Okay.
It's for Joe also.
Yeah, but Jay would watch it though. It's Joe.
Joe, listen to them all now.
It was aimed at Joe.
Yeah, we were like, Joe will not watch this. Well, you will. He will now. I will make sure he watches this. Okay, so I can't remember what I was up to, but so you must write in the skill. So in your beginning sentence, can you add this onto it? So the total dramatic effectiveness in this scene was successful because and then just write skill. So it could be because the physical skills, because the ensemble skills. Oh, let's put praiseworthy, because the amazing, and then write skill. So the amazing physical skills, because the stunning comedy skills. So the total dramatic effectiveness in this scene was successful because the amazing skill. So this is how you link it to the question, okay? If you do not link it to the question, you get no marks. Okay, right, what I would like you to do is, I'm actually going to get you to write this out now, I'm going to get you to fill it in for homework. Can you write on your lined piece of paper, each scene, you can just write it like OMS for Old Men of the Sea. I put Lotus, P for Penelope, C for Circe, but leave 3 lines or so. So have a page, spread it out like that, your 5 scenes, put at the top TDE. Fine, see, doing it is the best way to practice. TDA. Right, so you're going to write down OMS, Lotus, C for Cyclops, then you can just write P for Penelope and C for Circe. Well, yeah, Cyclops.
I forgot about Circe.
Okay, what I want you to write now, we're going to decide, you're going to decide now like a TDE for each scene. They are all in your book. But we know that for Circe and Penelope, can you please, all I want you to write in big capital letters is contrast. So,
Circe, could you talk about how it's visually engaging?
Yes, the contrast through the dance. So contrast, I used to write the word contrast. With Circe, can you put quieter and with dance? With Penelope, can you write quieter with emotion? So it's a contrast in there, why the contrast in. Circe obviously really stands out. It's the only scene in the whole play that's really done with dance. Penelope again, it's the only one where she really gets anyone really gets emotional. So brilliant, contrast. Old Men of the Sea. The best one to do for Old Men of the Sea, you can write this down. It's fantastic, Nikita. It sets the style and instantly engages the audience by breaking the fourth wall. So it instantly sets the style, it breaks the fourth wall, and it welcomes and engages that teenage audience, drags them into the play. That is so important, that scene, because it starts it all off. It is vital. The TDE is successful. The Cyclops, remember what it was? The positioning of the Cyclops was really important within the play. Nikita, I know you know it.
It lifts up the pace in the middle when the audience are about to get bored.
Yeah, yes it does. So, the multi-disciplined approach to that scene, if you think about the Cyclops scene, it's got singing, dancing, physical skills in it. It's got a bit of, well, not murder, but graphic violence in it. It's got a sheep in it. Everything's in that scene. And as Nikita said, that scene is in the middle of the play where teenage audience might start to switch off, and so it engages. So just say the multidisciplines or the varied use of techniques in this scene. So the varied use of techniques in this scene engages the audience in the middle of the play where they're most likely to get bored. That is it. That's brilliant. That's what a TD is. That is why that scene is so important to the play. And the last one we've got is the Lotus Flower. Go on, Nikita. Tell us what a good TD is for the Lotus Flower.
It has a clear stereotype and covers a taboo subject that engages a teenage audience.
Yeah. So it has a recognisable character for teenagers. So the warrior, the jock, that high school jock. And so it's a recognisable character for teenagers. But also, it covers a taboo subject that teenagers, you know, getting high and drunk, they're all like, I love it. Not that they love getting high and drunk, but they love singing that sort of thing. Okay, so that is your TDE. I would stick to those 5 TDEs. You know, they are by far the best ones. There are other ones on that sheet. It's worth looking at them too. These are all in your books, but they are the 5 absolute best ones, okay? So, what I would like you to do now, though, is we're going to, you know how to link it to the question, don't you? So this is an example of how I linked the Cyclops to the question. So I put, the total dramatic effect in the scene was successful because the amazingly well-timed ensemble skills, I haven't just written the amazing ensemble skills, I've made it go from A to A star by putting the amazingly well-timed. The amazingly well-timed ensemble skills created a fast-paced and hilarious moment that engaged the teenage audience in the middle of the play when they are most likely to get bored. So that is an A-star example, because like I say, I've linked it, I've said what the TD is, and I've linked it to the question, but I've even put in an extra praise word in there, because I love my evaluation. It is an evaluation. Anyway, if you have like 30 seconds spare at the end of the essay, go through and sneak in some extra praise words. I'm all over that, yeah? As many praise words as you can get. Okay, I won't do this next task. I was going to get you to write your... actually, no I will, because I think it's important. Right, pick a particular scene. Pick any scene you want, a scene that you would use for physical skills. So imagine that the question you get in the exam is physical skills. Pick a scene. Shall we pick it? We'll do the same scene together. Miriam, if you're going to do physical skills, what scene would you choose? Yeah, Lotus Flower. You've got clear gestures. You know, that's some really clear gestures. That's physical skills. Or you can do or you can do I definitely need to do we don't want to go, because it's the balance with that and the ensemble work. So let's pick the Lotus Flower. Okay, and I would like you to write the TDE for the Lotus Flower as if you've just done a physical skills question. I'm going to write it as well. Let me type it. forget to write it in past tense. Okay. 30 seconds. Okay, Sophia, can you read yours out for us, please?
The total dramatic effectiveness was achieved because Jen's phenomenal use of balance and impressive ensemble timing was engaging to teenage audiences and showed the social taboo of getting drunk, which met the director's aims of engaging teenage audiences.
Oh, I think that's better than mine, to be honest. Yeah, pretty much, Sophia. That's awesome. Okay, well done. I'm just going to put mine on the board so for some of you who are visual learners rather than audio, you can see mine's a bit shorter than hers. So I put the total dramatic effectiveness was successful because the amazingly well-timed and controlled physical skills clearly showed the warriors getting high and changing personalities, covering a taboo subject, engage the target teenage audience, may just add to the end there, which met the director's aims. Just taking some influence off Sophia there. But that was it, yeah, very good. Very well linked to the question there as well. And it's still lots of praise words, so well done there, Sophia. Okay, I'm just going to do Quote Wars. Just to wake you up a little bit in the last half hour. Can you all please stand up for me? Oh yeah, right, we're going to play Quote Wars. Stand up. Oh yeah, stand up. Come on, stand up. Wake yourselves up. Give yourselves a shake. Stand up. Come on, Andreas. Right, first thing I want you to do just to wake yourselves up. Can you put your right arm in front of you? Right hand, can you do a circle with your right hand? And with your right foot. Oh, sorry, figure of 8, you're right. Miriam, you're on the ball today. Right, figure of 8 with your finger, and can you do a circle with your foot? Don't let your foot do a figure of 8.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. Brain work, gotta wake up to do it. You might find it easier on the other side, so swap over. Figure of 8 with your left.
Yep, okay.
And then a circle with your left foot. Don't make your left foot do a figure of 8. Keep it in a circle. You'll find that one side is easier than the other. I found my right easier. You do it? Right, okay, hands right sides. If you're ever feeling tired in an exam, just try doing that in the middle of the exam and it'll wake you up. No, stay stood up. Right.
I feel like a weirdo.
Don't worry, no one's looking at you. People in drama exams are usually sat doing things like this in their exams, figuring out what to write. Right, we're going to go around one at a time then. You're going to say, guys, thank you, you're going to say a quote from the play. When it comes to, you cannot say a quote that has gone before. You also, I will give you a countdown if you're too slow on it, and then you're out. If you don't know a quote, you're then out. If you say one that's gone before, you're out. It can be a quote that's in the play that we don't cover as key lines, if you remember it. Sophia, you're going to go first. Go.
Hello, love, would you like to be a song?
Ellis, go.
What are we doing again?
Sit down and give me your phone, please. I've asked him already. Give me your phone, please. I've asked you already. You need to focus. I'm just going to leave it at the front here. Okay, Miriam, go.
I am the old man of the sea.
Keita. Andreas. Go.
I'm a king born to win.
Kiki.
Heaven-born lion, hearted Odysseus.
Olivia.
Hello.
Someone said that.
Really?
Who said that? Who said
Andreas.
that? Andreas, sit down. Mia.
Quite a man. 18 strangers behind 40.
Go.
It was bliss.
Go.
I went to striking, but he broke me.
Miriam. Nikita.
We got the one I've lost to draw.
I hope you haven't got them just in front of you. And close your books. Close your books. Andrea. Go.
Look, a Cyclops curve.
Kiki.
Time passes.
Go.
My big beautiful eye.
Chus. Go. Fruit. Zach.
I undo, I do, I undo, and I redo.
Go.
Speaking falsely to me.
Yeah. Go.
I want to come home to you.
Nice. Go.
I'm the king born to win.
Nice. Go.
Yeah, I said that under.
Oh, we had it. Oh, that was right at the beginning, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry, well done. Sit down. Go.
But I don't have another.
Sit down. Kiki.
You want to be a star?
There you go. Go.
Then the suitors came.
Nice.
Odysseus, and this is his voice.
Go.
speaking false information.
No, said, sit
What's
down.
that goal?
Go. It said, someone said it was bliss. Sit down.
That was me.
Go.
Have we had the don't drive us away?
No, no, sorry, no, we haven't.
Hey.
PK.
I am a king born to win.
Someone
Someone said that. Sit down.
Multiple
Someone
times.
said that. Go.
Or he something and I surrendered.
I swore and he surrendered. Did you do that one? I swore and he surrendered. Oh no, you said I would strike. No, I've not had that one. Go.
Ooh.
We don't want to go.
Someone said that. Sit
Alright.
down. Go on, Nikita.
I have one, but I don't think I know.
Any quote from in the play at all?
What's the? I don't know what the Cyclops scene is. Look, a Cyclops.
We've had that.
Ah, sit down. Yeah, you're the winner. I was surprised the other class are obsessed with the suitors going, yours lovely, it's something really beautiful. Something beautiful, but better. And also, WTF. Oh, they're obsessed with that scene. It's the year 12s are obsessed with the whole suitors scene. Suitors. WTF. Where they're like, Penelope, marry me! Marry me! Marry me! You're as clever as science! Like science, but better. Yeah. They're cute. You need to watch the rest of the play. It's brilliant, that scene.
Thing, but I only paid attention to the ones I needed to pay attention to.
Oh, fair enough. Sorry, let's go back. Okay,
Oh,
we're getting there,
Me, you and
guys.
Alex.
Used to be
I used to sit in the back on the back.
Okay, so keyword, guys. This is where a lot of you are losing your marks. Okay, keywords are features that an actor is good at to help him achieve a particular skill. Marking, I'm at year 12s did their first lesson. What I've noticed that a lot of them are doing, they're saying what the skill is. They're saying the non-naturalistic skill of, having exaggerated facial expressions, but they're not saying why that person is particularly good at doing exaggerated facial expressions. And it's the fact that, facial expressions, because they are so exact. They're controlled, they're consistent. Consistent and controlled. If in doubt, can you just write down keywords? Okay, if in doubt, if you're ever not sure what key skill to use, these are ones you can pretty much apply to any quote in it. Consistency. Control, whether that's put in brackets, make sure you mention whether it's vocal control or obviously like facial expression control. And focus. Because no matter what key line it is, there's some difficulty. So it's the focus, the ability to just remain in character. So whatever, if you really struggle, that's if you're really struggling, use those three. Right. Can you imagine, the question you're going to get is atmosphere. So can you write down atmosphere for me, please? Okay. Okay, write down all the words that you can think of that for creating character, for atmosphere. The things that they have to be good at in order to successfully show atmosphere. Okay, it's quite a hard one. Write down any you can. See if you can come up with 5. 5 things to be able to create an atmosphere. And if you think about the atmospheres in this production, you've got a welcoming atmosphere. So to make a welcoming atmosphere in the Old Men of the Sea, what do they have to be good at in order to create that welcoming atmosphere? Right, write it down. All right, good. Keep writing more down. Write down more if you can do more. Think about, you've got an emotional, a sad atmosphere, a melancholy atmosphere for Penelope. What does she have to be good at in order to be melancholy? Write it down. Right, keep writing down more. I'm thinking you've got the atmosphere is quite tense in the Cyclops scene with the action going on. What do they have to be good at to create that tense atmosphere? Or you've got the sexual tension in Cersei. What does she have to be good at to be able to do that?
Excellent eye contact.
Yeah, with the audience. Yeah, definitely. So there's loads and loads of things that you can be good at in order to create atmosphere. So it's really important you think about the different atmospheres. You've got a light-hearted atmosphere in the Warriors, which changes towards the end at being a bit more tense when they're saying, we don't want to go. So if you're going to change, that's a really good scene, the Lotus Flower, for doing atmosphere, because the atmosphere changes. It starts off very light-hearted with the great exchanges, so they've got to be smiling and big. It changes towards the end as being tense, so they have to be able to change personalities so that you can see the change in the scene. So that's a skill in itself. The ability to quickly change a character is a skill, so write that down. Okay, if you go in your booklets, can you just go to page 20? Because I'm still not sure if some of you actually know I've done this for you. Just go to page 20, and it is what Andrea's have here. Look at this. For each, well, not for every single one, but for a lot of the different questions, I have written a whole list of different skills they need to be good at that particular question. If you go to the atmosphere one, if you can see, you know, I've got creativity, you know, consistency in style or mood in a particular scene. So if you think about the old men of the sea scene, the welcoming, they're really consistent as the old man, even when they're talking to breaking the fourth wall. So that's another one, the ability to break the fourth wall. The ability, if you want to have a welcoming opening, they have to have the ability to improvise, ad-lib. That's a great one, the improvisation one. So you've got to be able to write down loads of keywords. Have you got improvisation? If you've not put that down, the focus, the breaking the fourth wall, the ability to do exaggeration, the timing for chorus, the atmosphere. You know, if you wanted a light-hearted, if you want the tension at the end of "we don't want to go," they have to be able to do it in perfect timing so it looks effective, so it was even more tense. The ability to cry on cue. If in Penelope you want a sad atmosphere, she has to be able to make herself cry. Put your hands up in the air if you can make yourself cry.
By yawning.
Yeah. I've done it this show. It's quite a hard skill to do. Can you all write down?
Yeah.
Make it the ability to make yourself cry. Ellis, write down. Ability to make yourself cry.
Sure, I just forgot now.
Yeah. So what I want you to do for revision is, can you do the same for physical skills? So can you write down physical skills underneath key skills and underline it? And then I want you to do that for physical skills. Do it without looking at the book. Try and see what you can do yourself. And then if you can actually see in your book, on page 20 as well, you've actually got a full list of physical skills I've done for you. I do apologise. Okay, so that, we're not doing that now, but that's for your revision. Okay, you, and as well, do these for other potential questions. Keep doing these. This is a really good revision task for you to do. Praise words. Dude, I'm not going to make you do this task because I think you can do it, but again, it's another really great revision task. You know, this is an evaluation question. Therefore, you must evaluate. You need to say what's good about it. Like I say, your exam just needs to be littered with praise words all the way through it. Always keep it performance. Oh, positive. God, that was late when I wrote this. Always keep it positive. There's no time for negativity. It just takes too long. It was a senior examiner who actually said to me, look, there's no point in getting to focus on negatives. They just have it for a 55-minute exam. It will take too long to explain it. I was going to give you 1 minute to write down all the praise words you could think of, but it actually makes no sense because they're all on the wall up there, so I think all of you would just use them anyway. So you've just got to make sure you've got a good plethora of different praise words that you can use. Okay, again, I'm not going to do this with you now, but this is a really good revision task to do. In your revision books, you've got a whole page called Mix and Match Task. And if you have a look on that page, what it actually says, it's page, if you've got the modern one, the newest 2022 version, it's called this Mix and Match Task. And what you do is you write down a praise word, a keyword, and then what performance skill you could actually link that to. That is a really good task for you to do. I know a lot of you have done these tasks already, so maybe have a go at doing it again, writing your own chart on a computer, okay? So I'm not going to make you do that now. This is something new. This is a new slide that I've never given you the information for. And this is because this is something to really push my A grade students in the class. So if you're someone who wants to achieve in that A or the A star grade, this is for you guys. Actually, this is for all of you. You all should be aiming for that. Okay, so there's an extra bit of information. To reach an A grade, you need to be explaining your praise and keywords, saying what effect they created. So it's not just good enough to say they had fantastic eye contact. That's a C grade answer. It's yes, you've given an evaluation, but it's a bit vague. So if I was to just write, the ensemble skills were fantastic here because Jen had brilliant timing. All right, that's a C grade answer. If you want your A star or your A grade, you'd write, these ensemble skills were fantastic here because Jen had brilliant timing with the other two cast members, creating a visually engaging moment. So I've just put in a bit more detail with it. You know, instead of writing, the physical skills were great here because Jen had exaggerated actions. All right, yeah, sure. I've put the physical skills were great here because Jen had exaggerated actions which allowed us to instantly recognise her arrogant character. It it justifies it. That's the point. You're just giving a little bit of explanation. So if you want in those A-star grades, just push it. If you read Sam's essays when he does his evaluations, he just is giving that little bit more explanation for it to justify his answers. Like I said, this PowerPoint is going. I'm going to be sending it to you. But that's one thing you can practice at home is doing evaluation and just pushing it a little bit more. Read all the example essays. You've got a comedy one I've written in there which is full. That's 25 out of 25. Look at how I've just explained my evaluations a bit more. Okay, we're just going to do a short evaluation task. So don't drag us away. We don't want to go. So we've just done that. We're doing, don't drag us away. We don't want to go. Imagine you are doing physical skills question for this quote. Okay, so you've written loads of brilliant directions about how you've done it. You've explained how they've got high, they're now a bit childish, they stood centre stage in a row of 3, they're doing don't drag us away to an invisible mind Odysseus. They turn around, they hop backwards in perfect timing, we don't want to go, and imagine they're getting dragged off by Odysseus. You've explained that. Now what you're going to do is evaluate it. So you are going to write down, aim for a detailed A grade answer for your evaluation for that line, okay? You must have at least 2 praise words and keywords. So think about what brilliant things they need to have for their physical skills on that line. You've got 2 minutes, you're going to do it. So you can write down as, we don't want to go. Evaluate. Can you not give 2 minutes? Can you write down 2? Do this for 2 minutes, then you can go.
Miss, is this like the creative actions?
No, you've done your creative actions. This is just as if you've just done the evaluation. So it should take you a minute. So imagine, you've just written on the quote, but imagine you've written some fantastic actions down already. I just want you to do evaluation. So you can write, start it by saying, the physical skills in this quote were fantastic because... So again, you're instantly linking your evaluation to the question. So start it with, the physical skills in this quote was fantastic because, or the physical skills here were fantastic because. I'm going to do it as well. Yeah, I think you've written it, yeah.
Bless me. Thanks.
Okay, I'll throw mine. Does anyone need a little bit longer or are you alright? Keep mine. Oh, won't show you mine yet. Okay, who would like to read theirs out? And the tumbleweed went, Mia!
This is because
She's woken up.
I'm not getting good grades and I want to know.
Go on, Mia. Smash it out. Tell me. Go.
I put the physical skills in this quote are fantastic because Jen's perfect use of balance, along with her two fellow performers, demonstrated impressive ensemble skills, which were very visually engaging for the audience.
That what you wrote was excellent. You just need to do another one because you've only wrote one praise and one skill word, haven't you?
I put perfect balance,
Yeah.
impressive ensemble skills.
All right. Yeah. Actually, you fitted them into one thing, so that was fine. Yeah. It was. Do you know what you could just sneak at the end? What could you sneak in at the end to make it an A-star grade? What could you link it to at the end? Yeah. So just write a note on there which met the director's aims of engaging a teenage audience. Yeah. Of, showing also which made the audience realise that Odysseus is impressive. Anything like that. That was really good. Well done. I've written one on the board for you again, just so that you have it in the PowerPoint when I send it out to you. Mine is the physical skills here were fantastic because Jen showed amazing balance when standing on one leg to hop backwards. She also had great ensemble and timing skills, as she was able to move in perfect unison with Kerry and Cordelia. This helped to create a visually impressive physical moment which met the director's aims of engaging a teenage audience. You know what? Not dissimilar to yours, me, is that? So, which is really good. So that is then an A-star grade answer that you write in there. That's really nice. Hopefully that is similar to what you... Yeah? Or has anyone felt like they missed something else? Is anyone going to admit to something that they've missed out? Go on, Olivia, what did you miss out?
I always miss out the director's aims part.
That's fine. I mean, that is the difference between, like, maybe a B and an A-star. So that's where it is. But you're going to want to get your A-star. I know you are. So try and fit it in. If you don't do director's aims for every quote, that's fine. Try and get at least 3 in your essay so that I know that you are referring to. Try not to just use the same director's aims. It's really easy to do, which met the director's aims of engaging a teenage audience. That's really easy. But for this one, you could also talk about, you could always talk about the V effect almost, because they're breaking the fourth wall when they're talking to Odysseus. It depends what obviously it is, but yeah.
Where do you put this in your structure? Where does it fit in?
Yeah, at the end of an evaluation.
Evaluation or TDE.
And you can put it on TDE as well.
My TDE,
Yeah, if you just find it easier to do it just at the end of the TDE, just do it at your end of the TDE.
Okay.
It's just sneak it in if you can. Andreas, with your extra time, I want it littered with these. And James was like, yeah, I'm doing it. Okay,
Really good.
I'm not going to do... Ellis, thank you. I'm not going to do this task with you because we don't have time, but this, guys, is on the PowerPoint for you when I send it, so you can do this at your own time. So this is a task that I want you to do. So I wrote this down because I'm aware that we've not done... Actually, no, I'm just lying to you. This isn't a task. Can you just write down, actually, on your piece of paper for me, story? I'm aware that we've never done before the story, so I'm going to explain it to you now so that if you do get the question of the ability to tell a story, you're not going to have a panic. Okay, guys, thank you. For most plays, and especially for this one, telling a story is vital to the play, and especially this one. In a non-naturalistic play like Odysseus, there's lots of different techniques that are used to tell the story. It's not just a case of they just act out the story and it's in front of you. That's quite a boring way to tell, like, if you think. Ours is much more creative than that. Without looking at the board, I know some of you really have. Olivia, can you tell me one way in Odysseus, in the Odyssey, how they tell the story?
Narration.
Yeah, so the old men of the sea, right in that very first scene, they just tell the story. They don't act out the story. They actually specifically say, here's the great legend of Odysseus. He did this, and then he did this, and this is about his story of how he travelled home. So the narration and directing it to the audience, that's one way. Beth, can you think of another one?
Monologue.
Yeah, monologue. So Circe and Penelope, they don't act out the story. We don't see Odysseus leaving home saying to his wife, farewell. look after our kid. I'll see you soon. We actually have Penelope telling the story. So that, and it's the same with Circe. We don't see the seduction of when Odysseus lands, but she acts it out. She reenacts it for us, which makes us understand it. But because she's acting it out with her body as well, it becomes quite real to us. Like I say, direct audience talk as well. Think about the quotes that really tell the story. So if you, and also, you're probably going to want to do your favourite scenes as well. All of the scenes tell the story in quite a creative way. So maybe just write down now, if you were going to do the story one, which scenes would you do? I'd want you to do either Penelope or Circe, because they are a monologue, so they provide a bit of difference. You definitely do Old Men of the Sea, because it's direct narration at the start of the play, so that's a really good way to introduce the story. You definitely do Circe or Penelope. Then what other one? You could tell the Lotus Flower is also fab, because it tells a story over a very short, quick pace of time by using time passes. That's brilliant. Within the space of a minute, we've gone from them landing on the island to them getting addicted to the fruit and being dragged away. The Cyclops again, the Cyclops tells the story. You wouldn't do the quote, bah, because that has no relation to the story whatsoever. But you could do that. We got the one-eyed monster, because it's a song about how they got the one-eyed monster drunk. It's brilliant. We thrust a stick into the eye. They're miming it. They're not really acting it, so they're telling the audience what they did. That's a great way of their 2 key lines. So it's up to you of what scenes you did there, of what scenes you want to do. I love the whole greeting strangers, we are important and lost, because they're telling the audience straight away they are lost.
And important.
Story. So, the point is to make it clear that in this play, they don't just act out the story, they tell the story in really creative ways. So if you got this essay, it's actually, don't be terrified if you get the question telling the story. It's actually a really nice essay. It's quite an easy one. It's just, I don't need to have the shock of, oh my god, it's a different question, I don't know. Okay, you've probably all done this already. Just make sure that all the questions you've chosen before you go into the exam, what scenes you would choose. Choose the right scenes is half the battle. For ensemble skills, it's obvious. You can't do the 2 monologue scenes. For others, decide which ones you can write the best about and which you can really focus on the question. For physical skills, you wouldn't choose Penelope, so which ones of the other ones do you prefer? That's it. Remember, you need to aim for at least 2 quotes per scene. Again, on page 28, I've written out some questions for you where you can write down what scenes and what quotes you would do. And that's a really good revision task. If at any point you get worried, on page 3 of your workbook, there's a whole list of different revision tasks that you can be doing. But the number one, the 2 top ones, writing essay plans and writing the full essays out as well. I'm not going to get through this because there's not time. So sorry. I know, I'm sorry. There's only like 3 minutes. We've gone through an essay plan. Don't forget to follow the structure of the essay plan at the back for physical questions. These guys are main points on the board for revision. I'll send it to you, but they're the best things that I think you should do for revision. And so you have got the ones in your book, but can you make these your priority moments on here? Has anyone got any questions for the exam?
No.
Before you go in, right, for anyone moves, Kiki, how many questions will you get in your exam paper? Okay, which ones do you definitely not answer, Olivia?
The top 2.
The first 2. And then you can choose 1 question from the bottom 2. How many marks is it out of Ellis?
It is out of 24.
25. Nikita, how long time do you have?
50 minutes.
55 minutes. You don't have an hour, you have 55 minutes, okay? Use that last one. Okay. Can we give a final password to Joe, please?
Joe, your final password is fair trade orange juice.
Sponsored.
Bye, Greg.
Bye, Greg.
Bye, Greg. And Beth.
Bye, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
You better have watched this video.
See you in the mock, Joe.
Right.